And knowing that they're like skills and tools and techniques that like we all can gain to really approach burnout, and I also appreciate you sharing that like you have to be proactive and like in public health, like preventative, in
Hmm.
focusing on like how can we do all the things now so that we don't get to that like level 2 or 3 that might require even a higher level of like coaching or support. But how can we have those skills and tools to ensure that we're staying in that maybe level 1 where we're not like we're tired but we're not burning out per se, is so important. And this question might be a little tougher because it's not working one on one with people, but understanding that yes, we need skills and tools in our pockets to be able to deal with burnout. But then there are these contributing factors that are sometimes outside of our control: systemic issues, inadequate support, escalating workloads, higher demands, like hustle culture, as you're saying. How do you talk to someone that is maybe saying that I don't have control of the things so that I can't burn out? Like right now, everything is exploding, everything is an emergency, and there's nothing that I can do. And if I take a step back, like things are gonna get like fall off the plate and just missed. So like how do you talk to that person?
Yeah, so I think it's important to understand there are two kind of categories that contribute to burnout: external factors that contribute to burnout and internal factors. So, what you're describing is a lot of the external factors, right? Whether it's policy shifts, the lack of funding, less team members because there's layoffs. Those are things happening externally that create challenges that make it more likely we will burn out. And we are not denying that those challenges exist, nor that they make things hard for us. However, we do not have full control over those challenges. Like, if I could just tell you how to change those challenges, I would. But that's just not the nature of life. Even outside of public health, there's always going to be external challenges that we cannot change. Things other people do or say that impact us, the way in which policies or systems are put in place that might impact us. Can we work towards changing those? Yes, of course. But because we're in public health, we know that systems change takes a long time. And if we're stressed, if we're overwhelmed, and we're burnt out, we don't have that time to wait. The good news is the other factor that contributes to burnout is the internal factors, which is the things we are doing. Now, sometimes when people hear that, they feel kind of on the defense, like, whoa, 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 you're blaming me. No, it's not about blame. It's where do you have control and agency and power, right? So when you are faced with an external challenge, how you show up to that challenge determines how stressed and overwhelmed and anxious you're going to be. You can either make your stress and anxiety worse, or you can manage it and make it minimal, right? So when we're facing a challenge, what are you thinking about this challenge? Are you thinking, oh, this is impossible, there's nothing I can do, it's all out of my hands? That is so disempowering. And that just shuts you down from being creative, from problem solving, from reaching out for support. Versus facing a challenge and really believing this is temporary, I can figure this out, I can overcome this, I don't have to let this take me out, which is so much more empowering, grounds you, keeps you more calm, helps you problem solve, helps you think creatively, helps you think rationally instead of making impulsive decisions. That's why this piece is so important, because we cannot wait for all these systems and policies and things outside of us to change to feel better. We don't have the time for that, but also we don't have to necessarily. We can learn how to respond to those challenges in a way where we're not overworking ourselves, where we're not putting more pressure on ourselves, where we're not holding ourselves back. And that's where we have agency and control and power. It's not about denying the impacts of the external things. It's about redirecting where we have control to change how we're experiencing those challenges.
That's so important because like where you focus is kind of where your energy goes. And many times we do focus so much on the external and all the things that are happening to us, and many times we have no way to change those things. But to your point, we have the ability and agency to build the power to say, okay, we can change those things, but how can we do things internally until deal with the internal factors around our burnout to ensure that we are resilient and whole? Because regardless of it, there is going to be some sort of negative systemic thing that is going on that's going to make this tough. Like the external factors are never going to not be there. So it's really ensuring that we have the skills and the tools to be able to fight burnout throughout that process, and really be able to focus on it from that internal perspective.
Yeah, and think about this, right? When we are facing external challenges from the place of there's nothing I can do, I have no control, it's impossible. What happens is we get shut down and then we don't direct our energy to advocating, pushing back, making changes, creating strong relationships, networking, being strategic, right? And that's exactly what hustle culture and white supremacy and the patriarchy wants, is for us to get so shut down, so hopeless, so defeated that we don't use our intellect, our energy, our problem solving skills to change the system. However, if we shift in response to challenges to focusing on where we do have control, then actually those systems don't win, because we're focusing our energy on what we can do, how we want to show up, the decisions we want to make that keep us moving forward to then make the changes to the systems at play. So we have to really think about it a little bit more zoomed out of who really benefits if we just believe it's out of our control, there's nothing we can do. It's not us, it's the systems of oppression. It's the systems that create inequity that really benefit from that belief.
Absolutely.